2 of the grade 10 November 2019 question paper 1, and in this question we'll be going straight to question 3. Please watch the previous video where I did question 1 and question 2. So in question 3.1 says, mention 3 factors that influence the organizational culture of a business, the organizational structure of a business. So that can be a size of the business. Organizational structure is who reports to who. It's a diagram illustrating who reports to who is on top, who is in the middle, and who is on the lower level. So the size of the organization, how big the organization is, will influence the type of structure that the business will go for, the resources that the business has, as well as the goals of the business, what the business really wants to achieve, can also technology can influence them organizational structure. And then 3.2, identify the business function in which each statement below. Identify the business function in each statement below. So that is 3.2. For 3.2.1, they say they oversee the activities. Remember the 8 business functions of the business. They oversee the activities of the other functions so that the business can achieve its objective. So that is general management. And then 3.2.2 says they are responsible for creating and maintaining a positive public image. So everything that has got to do with public image of the business, it's public relations. And then 3.2.3 says the process of converting raw materials into finished goods. That is the production function. So this is the memo. You can check there. Where you have to list 3 factors that influence the organizational structure of a business. You also have any other relevant answer related to the factors that influence the organizational structure of a business, but you only be marked 3 things. So 3.3.3, read the scenario below and answer the question that follow. Sharon works for JL Ltd, a leading clothing retailer. She was promoted from supervision to administration manager. She is now in charge of 30 people in her department. So in the upper level, we have the CEO, the chair, the board, and all that. And then in the middle one, we have department managers. So the 8 business functions manage head of departments that we have in middle management, and then in ground or lower level management we have supervisors. So she was promoted from being a supervisor to being a head of department. So administration manager is head of department, so she's in the middle level. Identify Sharon's new management level, middle level. Motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario below. She was promoted from supervisor to administration manager. Explain her responsibilities on the management level identified in question. She is responsible. She's the head of the department, responsible to oversee the entire department. Right? She takes decisions based on that department. She has power to take decisions and implement. She also implements the higher level management's requests or vision. Make sure that it is achieved. So there we have middle management, 3.3.1. She was promoted from supervisor to administrator. Do not award the mark for the motivation if the identification of the level of management is incorrect. So if you have not selected the right middle level of management, you're not getting an answer. Remember, I have dealt with this theory on the previous videos. So please check out my 4 previous videos, and I have dealt with all the topics with paper 1, so you can check that out. And then responsibility of middle level management is responsible for a certain function. Yes, is the head of the department. In the business, they are heads of the different departments. Make medium term tactical decisions that focus on how the business will carry out strategic decisions. They turn tactical decision into action, implement strategic plans of top management. So you see, It's 6 marks, so you will need a full sentence will give you 2 marks. So let's read this one. Ensures that lower management carries out its functions effectively and that resources are used efficiently. You see, ensure that lower management carries out its functions efficiently and that resources are used effectively. So that's a full question. That's awarded 2 marks. So you can have 3 points and full sentences. Learn to answer in full sentences. They also say any other relevant answer related to the responsibilities of middle management. So you have to understand what is middle management and know what it does. So you're going to accept relevant facts if middle management was incorrectly identified as an answer in 3.3.1. Just take relevant facts. For 3.4, describe 2 methods of carrying out public relations. Now, public relations is keeping a relationship going. So that's how you answer this question. How do you keep a relationship going? So the relationship between a business and its stakeholders, they can call up on the customer. Sometimes what these businesses do is that they collect your personal information and they will send you SMS on your or emails on your birthdays to wish you well and give you a little bit of vouchers, as well, for you to use on your birthday because you are the customers. They have to do media briefing always, or take out statements on a frequent basis to always be communicating with their customers. So you just describe 2 methods of carrying out public relations, of keeping a good relationship, remember? And then discuss the importance of quality for businesses. It's important for business to have quality, as it will help to improve sales as well. So it's important to carry out quality in different ways. You need to hire quality workers. You have to know that your workers are qualified. You need to produce quality products, and you always have to do quality advertising. Know that you're not misleading people. Everything that the business do needs to be of quality. So you answer these questions based on those factors. So this is the use of telephone or direct contact. It's a way of carrying out public relations. Word of mouth, social media networking sites. So having a Facebook page or a Twitter allows company to talk about the business product. It's public relations. Exhibitions, shows demonstrate new product. The business social responsibility, brochure, pamphlet, transit advertising. Okay, so you will only be marked on 3 things. And also media publicity. It's also important where you talk or write articles. Mark only the first 2 methods. And then you have to know those ways to carry out public relations. It's in your textbook. Importance of quality for business. Dealers and consumers are assured that products are of a required standard. It encourages workers to continue to produce quality products. Cost can be reduced through elimination of poor products. You see, it leads to improved quality and design. Increased customer satisfaction. So they talked about the benefits also. These are the benefits of quality for businesses. So any other relevant answer related to the importance of quality for the business gets a mark. So 3.6 says differentiate between quality control and quality assurance. Quality control is it's done at the end of the production line. When we are producing shoes, at the end, when the shoe is complete, we do quality control. But quality assurance, we do it throughout the production process. So that is the major difference between the two. The quality control is done at the end of the production. Quality assurance is done frequently to check that every step of the production is done correctly. And then evaluate the impact of the National Consumer Protection Act on businesses. Let's see the memo. So here we have quality control, inspection of the final product to ensure that it meets the required standards. Carry out during and after production process to ensure required standards have been met at every stage of the process. Include setting targets, measuring performance, and taking corrective measures. Ensure that every process is aimed at getting the product right first time and prevent mistakes from happening again. So that is the difference. And you know that you're not limited to only the answers that appear on the memo. As long as what you have written is relevant. That's what's nice about business studies. And then the impact of the National Credit Act, the National Consumer Protection Act, on businesses. We have advantages for businesses, enables businesses to resolve dispute fairly through consumer court. Businesses may build a good image if they ensure that they do not violate consumer rights. Business may gain consumer loyalty if they comply with CPA, Consumer Protection Act. Or you can talk about the disadvantage. When you're asked to talk about the impact of something, you can either choose to write about the positive impact that thing has on whatever, or the negative impact. So they've given you two: the advantage with the positive impact on business, and disadvantages with the negative impact on business. Faulty items may be replaced, repaired, money refunded if the fault occurs within 6 months after purchase. Yes, you can return something when the fault occurs within 6 months after purchase. Consumers may take advantage of business and return goods when it's not necessary to do so. Processes and procedures required of business can be expensive and time consuming. So these are the disadvantage of Consumer Protection Act on the business. So number 4, miscellaneous. We both have business environments and business operations in this question. So 4.1 says, give the meaning of poverty. Remember, in section B, you can choose between question 2, question 3, and question 4. So choose 2 questions that you will answer. Give the meaning of poverty. So what do you understand poverty to be? Poverty is when a person does not have any money to satisfy their needs. They are unable to buy food or anything. Like, they cannot even find work. They cannot afford to buy themselves clothes. It's poverty. So whatever you come up with. So let's finish this question before we look at the memo. 4.2, read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. Jimmy downloads copyrighted music and movies from the internet. He then sells the CDs at a discounted price in Queenstown. The CDs look legitimate, but are not. Identify the socio-economic issue in the scenario above. That's piracy. So if you take someone's thing, copy it, and sell it as your own, you are practicing piracy. Discuss 2 solutions to the issue identified in 4.2.1. So the solution is for the owner of the material to protect themselves through things like copyright and patent. So they must register their idea. They must have copyright. They must also have patent. So distinguish between private and public sector. The public sector is privately owned by private individuals who invest their own money in businesses, and the public sector is government entities. It's state controlled by the government to meet needs which will probably be expensive for the private sector to take on. So the public sector will take on, like looking at the post office, the SAA, which is the SA line, for the airline, and we also can look for ESCOM for electricity. So this is the memo. Meaning of poverty: when a person is unable, has no money to satisfy his or her most basic human survival necessities or needs. And then for socio-economic issue, we have piracy. And then solutions to piracy is copyright. Copyright is the right given to the creator of an original work so that it cannot be copied without his or her permission. The owner of intellectual property has the right to produce and copy the intellectual property. Includes literature work, music, artist work. So that's what you have to do. And then patent, exclusive rights to use or sell the invention or a product made from an invented process for a limited period of time. If it is an invention, someone who holds a patent has the sole right to produce and sell an invention. And then you can also do a trademark. A trademark is a unique mark that represents a business enterprise and which belong to the business enterprise. Includes words, slogans, and sign. I did a whole theory on this. You can check that one out. And then we have the difference between the private sector and the public sector. The private sector aims to meet both the needs and wants of society, privately owned by entrepreneurs, profit-driven institutions, different forms of ownership. And then the public sector aims to meet the needs of society, state-owned, generally non-profit organization, with exceptions such as SAE, OSCOM, and all that. And state ownership of, it's just state-run businesses. Let's look at 4.4. List 4 main tasks of management: controlling, planning, leading, and organizing. Those are the 4 tasks of management. Describe one type of organizational structure. We can talk about organizational structure. Is how the business is structured, right? Who reports to who, and so forth. Let's just we have one type of organizational structure, line organizational structure. So we can have a line organizational structure. This kind of structure has only a few levels or just one level of management, suitable for new entrepreneurial and small businesses. It's just one line. And then we have functional organizational structure. In the functional structure, employees are ranked at different levels with the organization. And then we have line and staff organizational structure. The line organizational structure forms the basis of the line and staff organizational structure. Experts act as advisors for managers. So you see, you have another one. You only have 4. Matrix project organizational structure. This structure is mainly used when different projects must be completed. So you are asked to just give out one and explain it, right? Let's see. Yeah, you are asked to describe one type of organizational structure. And then we have 4.6, identify the source of financing represented in each statement below. And then 4.7, advise businesses on the correlation between success of the business and management. Okay, so 4.6.1, we are asked to identify the source of financing represented in each statement. I hope you know the different sources of finance. Good fellow bank allows funky fashions to withdraw a negotiable amount which is more than the money that is in their check account. That is an overdraft. When you are in the bank allows you to even withdraw money that you do not have. You can borrow from them. It's an overdraft. Corner Cafe pays Tasco Service to use a cash register for a specific period of time, so they have leased out their cash register. Advise businesses on the correlation between success of the business and of management. This is the answer for 4.6, 2 marks each. And then the correlation: the management plays a key role in the success of a business enterprise by making correct decisions. So if manager succeeds, the business is likely to succeed. That's where the success of the manager and the business correlates. They combine, they come together. When the manager succeeds, the business succeeds. So it's important that management succeeds for the business to succeed. That's the correlation. If the management's responsibility to determine the objectives of the enterprise, these objectives must be realistic and attainable. So them management succeeding means the business is succeeding as well. So that's the correlation between the success of the management and the success of the organization. Well done. We've completed section B. Now we're on section C. Answer one question in this section. You'll be given 2 essay questions and you'll be required to answer one. Clearly indicate the question number of the question chosen. The answer to the question must start on a new page. For example, question 5 on a new page or question 6 on a new page. Business environments, that question 5. The business is influenced by many internal and external factors. Management must know how to identify problems and address the issues. Write a detailed report on the following aspects. You are asked to write a detailed report on the following aspects. Elaborate on the meaning of market environment. So it means go into deeper details about market environment. What is market environment? What are the elements of market environment? How does market environment impact the business? Does the business have full control over the market or not? Discuss 5 components of the macro environment. You go into deep details about the macro. This is an external environment. The business has no control but can influence it. It includes international environment, political and legal environment, technological environment, natural environment. Those things, you outline the components. The market environment has consumers, has competitors, suppliers, intermediaries, all those. You talk about what market environment is. I have a detailed video where I discuss market and macro environments, so please check that out. And then you explain the reasons why the macro environment can be a challenge to businesses. It is a challenge because it's an external market. Businesses cannot control it, but can only influence it. You cannot control natural disasters that can happen, floods. COVID-19 happened, businesses had no control over it. So those are the things you talk about. It's things that in politics, businesses cannot control politics, right? So the decisions that are taken by politicians gonna impact the business because they're going to affect private investment. Advise businesses on the interrelationship between micro, market, and macro environment. So you advise the business on, you just talk on how these 3 markets affect each other. It is what a decision taken in macro environment can affect the micro and the market environment. All right, so as you can see, you have to have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. So on the introduction, guys, you have to explain the topic that you are given. You are asked to write about business environments. So in your introduction, you are going to explain what a business environment, or what does business environment consist of. It's only 2 marks. So let's look at this. The business environment consists of micro, market, and macro environment. That is 1 mark. The market environment is part of the external environment. The business has no control over the components, challenges of macro environment. The challenges related to the components of the market environment are directly influenced by events in the macro environment. So here you're only going to choose 2 facts. You're writing 2 full sentences. That is 2 marks. Okay, so on your introduction, you explain. You can explain what is a what are different types of market. The business environment. So the business environment consists of 3 environments, which are macro, market, and macro environment. So you have 3. In this 3 environments, market and macro are external, and the micro environment is internal. You can also say that you are done. Okay, so you don't have to go write a big paragraph, and whatever you write in the introduction should not be repeated in the body. In the body, you answer the questions that you were given. So you were asked to elaborate on the meaning of market environment. 6 marks. Challenges and influence outside the business. The business have little or no control over the environment. The business can have influence over the challenges in the market environment. All elements that determine the reasons of the existence of a business includes all forces, stakeholders that have a direct effect on the functioning of the business. and we still have any other relevant answer. So you talk about the market environment in full sentences. Make sure it's full sentences. And then give 5 components of the macro environment. That's what you asked. The physical, natural environment, the legal environment, political environment, economic environment, social environment, technological environment, institutional environment. And then you explain each, right? So you give a component is 2 marks, a description is 2 marks. So you explain each of the following environments, and you also have the international environment. You give the environment, and then those are the components of macro environment. I have a video that I have filmed for you guys. Please, guys, don't forget to like the video. If you watched so far, please like the video and subscribe. So that is how you answer this question. And then the 5.4 said the reasons why the macro environment can be a challenge to businesses. So businesses do not have control over macro environment factors, yet they are bound to affect them. That's why it is a challenge. The macro environment can also greatly affect consumers directly, affecting their ability and willingness to spend, right? So it's the impact reasons why macro environment can be a challenge, which means a negative impact of macro environment on the business. And then the interrelationship between micro, market, and macro environment. So business enterprise are in constant interaction with elements present in all 3 business environments. An entrepreneur uses factors of production to produce a product or service. An entrepreneur aims to satisfy the needs of the consumer in order to make a profit. So those are the things you are going to cover, right? So this is the interrelationships and any other relevant answer. So on the conclusion, you conclude, you write your findings. After taking this all in consideration and writing all these things, what comes into your mind? Let's look at this. The business must be aware of the factors in the business environment in order to adapt to changes and ensure the success of the business. The components of the macro environment will affect the decisions of the business. So it's your conclusion. After you have gathered this information and written, what do you conclude? It's your own thoughts. It's 2 marks. It's just 1 sentence. So, and this is how you will be marked. Question 6. In order for the business to be successful, strong financial control is necessary. Incorrect stock levels can also cause the failure of the business. Keep the above scenario in mind. Write a report on the following aspects. So number 1, you're asked to outline the responsibilities of credit providers according to the National Credit Act. You have to know the National Credit Act and outline its responsibilities. The responsibilities of credit providers. What is the responsibility? They have to make credit checks on the person they are giving credit to. So they have to make sure that you can afford to buy, you can afford to pay the credit. And then discuss the importance of stock control. When you have stock in the business, it needs to be controlled so that it is not misused, right? And number 3, explain 3 reasons why a business may need finance. A business may need finance to expand for cash flow, or maybe to just start or to build. They want to build something. And then you have to advise businesses on the importance of quality in a healthy financial functions. So how quality is controlled in the finance function. So it is very important to understand what you are writing. So you have to define business operations. The owner of a business uses own or borrowed capital for the business. The owner must know how much stock is available to prevent overstocking and shortage. National Credit Act was introduced to prevent the over-indebtedness of consumers. Keep this in order for the business to be successful. Strong financial control is necessary. Incorrect stocks levels can also cause failure of businesses. So you can also use your introduction based on what do you understand about that statement. It's your introduction. So you can also base your introduction based on the opening statement. In order for the business to be successful, strong financial control is necessary. Incorrect stocks level can also cause the failure of the business. So write in the introduction what you think about this statement. Proper control of stock levels is beneficial for the business, as they are able to control costs, and strong financial control is necessary to keep the finances of the business afloat, so that the business does not have any losses or failure to meet its needs because money was not used correctly. So that can be your introduction. So these are the responsibilities of credit providers according to the National Credit Act. You have to know them. They are in your textbook. This is the importance of stock control, why you should control stock. 3 reasons why business may need finance: for startup and for cash flow, for replacement, for expansion, right? And then the importance of quality in a healthy financial function: ensure a healthy cash flow by ensuring payments are made on time. That's quality. Payments are made on time. Effective management of cash and control overspending by cash. Budgeting, so they have budgets. Financial reports to keep up to date. Accountability through tight financial positions. Processes: get capital from suitable sources. And then we have a conclusion. That is your thoughts. Complying with the National Credit Act helps customers and business to make responsible financial decisions. Stock control can minimize the risk of obsolete products. So this is how you'll be marked. Thank you very much for watching this video. Until the next one.